Well, hello. I was looking out the window because it is storming outside. How y'all doing? My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I am a mental and emotional wellness creative, licensed professional counselor, and certified life enhancement coach. I teach Black women the skills that we need in order to heal and manifest, and I do so by sharing my journey with you in hopes that it'll help you along your own. And you're tuned into From Scratch Live, which is my weekly vlog where I just kind of talk about what's going on in my life and hope that, you can catch a lesson or two out of that. So, yeah, it's been weird. It's been a crazy couple weeks, it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. Make sure when you come on in that you say hello so that I can see that you're there. And then also share and hit the like button for me if you will. I would appreciate that. I'm also live on on YouTube right now if you want to head on over there. But it has been a weird few weeks. It's really been a weird couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot going on right now in the world, but specifically in America. Um, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot to take in all at one time. And the reality of all of it is very heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very heavy. And it's kind of one of those things where to me, for me, it just kind of comes in these waves. And it's like I'm as soon as I feel like I'm coming up to catch my breath, then something else, another wave just comes and knocks me back down. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, And when the quarantine and stuff first happened, we saw a lot of people posting shit like, if you don't come out of this with a new degree, or if you don't come out of this with a new side hustle, a new business, this, that, and the other, then you don't lack knowledge, you lack, desire or motivation or some shit like that. And I'm like, sis, do you really understand like the reality of what's happening right now? Like there is a global pandemic that has taken down the whole entire world. Like the whole world shut down for like 3 months. I mean, collectively, shut the fuck down. People are dying from this illness. And then, on top of all of that, we are reminded, very acutely reminded, that Black people been dying as a result of the virus known as racism. And that there are a huge portion of white people who, even in the face of actual proof, refuse to acknowledge it. And the weight of that in and of itself is like a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. And I don't know, it's just sometimes it just feels really weird. It almost feels like we're in the fucking Twilight Zone or something like that. Like sometimes it doesn't even feel like it's like it's real because it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like it's real because it's real. But it just don't feel real. It's like what the fuck is happening, right? Like what is going on? Like what the fuck? What is happening? You know? And there's a lot of emotions and shit that come along with that as well. Feelings of hopelessness, feelings of helplessness, depression sets in, anxiety goes through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot to process. There's a lot of different things. You're talking about people that you thought were your friends are showing their whole entire ass right now. And you are not only having to like wrap your mind around the fact that you don't know this person as well as you thought you knew them, but then that the part of them that you didn't know is actually the part that could kill your ass. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot for anybody to have to process. You're trying to process the reality that the people you love, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughters, your aunts, your uncles, your cousin them, your homie from down the street, love you like a play cousin. We grew up like family. That's my brother for real. Like all of those people that you care about could be them. They could become the next hashtag. Nobody is exempt. Nobody is exempt. And if you are a Black person in America, you have a very acute awareness of that reality. You know, it's like there's no way to escape that. And that is daunting, you know? And then on top of that, you have to convince the people who have actually put their lives in danger or put their lives at risk, meaning they're as in the people that I love, the people that make me happy in my world, the people who put their lives at risk, the people who are the threat, the actual real threat to my life and to their lives. We then are charged with the responsibility of convincing them that we don't deserve to live like this. And that by itself is a lot to fucking process and deal with. And y'all asking us to deal with and process all of these things at the same time. And we will because we don't have a choice. Because we have to, because we still have bills that need to get paid. We still have children and mouths that need to be fed. We still have jobs that have to be done. We still have to do the work in the community. We still have to be able to have the money to support Black owned businesses. We still have to cook for y'all, clean for y'all, take care of y'all, sing for y'all, tap for y'all, dribble the ball for y'all. We still got to do all of that. All of that at an extremely much, much, much higher level of excellence than you could ever fathom. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's not normal. It is our normal, but it is not normal. So, I've been kind of weaving in and out of that. You know what I'm saying? I just been kind of weaving in and out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like just trying to wrap my mind around the reality of that, and that has proven to be quite the task. So yeah, I'm just gonna share this live stream because I forgot to share it. What is going on? It's just, I don't know, it's a lot. It's a lot of different things. It's a lot of different places. But I think one of the positives, because I am at heart, I am a silver linings kind of girl. And I think for me, what's extremely important is for me to find a way to protect my spirit. You know what I'm saying? I have to be able to protect my spirit and to be able to really monitor the type of energy that I allow in. And sometimes I have to go the extra mile for myself to really seek out positive energy when I feel like I'm being surrounded by negativity. You know what I'm saying? Because I cannot function in that level of darkness. I have lived in that level of darkness before. I don't think that my level of darkness has been as dark as some people may have experienced, but for me, it was more than I'm willing to allow myself to experience, because everybody's rock bottom is different. Everybody's threshold is different. Okay, so it's about how much is enough for you. And and so I made a promise to myself that I was going to be very, very intentional about protecting my spirit and protecting my emotions and making sure that I do whatever it is that I need to do in order to make sure that I am in a good headspace. So it's a balancing act between recognizing and accepting, understanding the reality of what is, because we can't ignore that this is the reality. It's the fucking reality. It just is, like it just is. That's what it is. And we hope for it to be something else, but it's not there yet. And so that's where it is. That's what it is, right? But we have to find a way to balance the reality of what it is with the reality of where we are on the inside of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to find a way to say, okay, this is what it is and it's fucked up, and I wish that it wasn't that way, and I'm going to do what I can to try to make it not be that way. But at the same time, I'm going to prioritize me, because if I don't prioritize me, then I cannot be at 100% and be able to perform at the level at which the movement requires me. The movement needs me at 100% capacity as often as possible. They need my A game. And so I have to prioritize my health, my mental health, my spiritual health, my emotional health, and my physical health. I have to prioritize those things, which means finding that balance and being intentional about seeking out the good in a sea of darkness. So tonight I wanted to, talk about what some of those good things are. And I encourage you to really spend some time alone by yourself, really thinking about being intentional about identifying the bright spots in your life right now. Because promise you, I promise you, if you really, really tried, you could find at least one. And when you feel like you are surrounded by darkness, a glimmer of light makes a difference. But you have to be intentional about seeking it out. And so there's a couple bright spots. There's several bright spots in my life right now, and things that are going extremely, extremely well for me, that remind me that, this life has its bright spots. One of those things is, my relationship. My husband and I are getting along extremely well right now. Which, to all you married folk out there, that, sometimes it's an ebb and a flow. You know what I'm saying? It's an ebb and a flow. I always love my husband, you know what I'm saying? But, relationships are hard work. Relationships take a lot of work. And we have been in a sustained place of happiness for a while now, and that's a blessing. And I'm grateful for that, and I acknowledge that intentionally, and I, champion that in my life. I want more of that. And so that's a bright spot for me, the reality of that. Another thing is, from in terms of my business and things like that, things are going really well. My business is making money. My business is making more money than it has made in a while. And, it's it feels right. It feels good. It feels like, all of my hard work is paying off, and I feel like things are really falling into alignment. And that makes me very joyful. And that really it pleases my spirit. It's a major bright spot for me because it was a space of darkness for me for a long time. I shared with y'all my struggles in my business. I've always been very open with you all about figuring out this whole entrepreneurship journey, and the difficulties that I've run into in terms of figuring out entrepreneurship. It's not as easy as they make it seem. You have these coaches and people out here that, they say, oh, all you got to do is this, 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 and this. But there's a lot more involved in that. It's a lot of things that go into that. And it's doable, but it is definitely not easy. And so when I made the decision to prioritize me, which was a couple months ago, really almost a year ago now, to be honest, which is crazy to me. But I started seeing my therapist, and working with my therapist, talking to her about a lot of the blocks and things that I was experiencing, really healing from some of the emotional traumas that I had within myself, and really got intentional about moving my life in the direction that I wanted it to move in, and making some decisions about what actually was most important in my life. Because I thought that I had prioritized things, but I quickly realized that I had not. And so, you know, reaching out for help helped me to be able to really get behind, or get in front of my journey, and guide the journey versus being dragged through the journey. And that has made a world of difference. Since I made that decision, I have manifested the majority of the goals that I had set for myself, and goals that I had been trying to attain for years, that just kept escaping me, for whatever reason. I've Within the last 6 months, have been able to really make some major accomplishments, personal accomplishments, and so that matters to me. Those are huge bright spots for me in my life, because my journey to get into those things and to get into those places, it was a tumultuous one. It was emotionally taxing. It was emotionally stretching. It took a whole lot out of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I never would. That's why I always tell my villagers, I'm never going to sit here and try to set you up for the okie doke. I'm not about to sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, girl, it's so easy, this, that, and the other. It's not the worst thing that you could do. Like, I don't want to make it seem like it's so hard, but it is work. It is work, and it does require commitment to the process, because the process is not always going to feel like it makes sense to you. And sometimes you're not going to want to go through with things, because those things are going to be very difficult. Those are going to be like things that you have really, really, really tried extremely, extremely hard not to have to confront or do, for your whole life. And in order to get to where you're going, you got to go through those things. So it's not easy, but it is doable, and it is absolutely worth it. And I know this because I live this. And I that's another reason why I share my journey with y'all, because I really want y'all to understand, like, I live this shit. Like, I'm for real about this shit. I don't always get this shit right. You know what I'm saying? And you're not always going to get this shit right. But I get up every day and I try again. And that is all anybody can ever ask from you. And anybody that's asking you for more than your honest effort, your genuine, honest effort, girl, you need to turn and run on in the opposite direction. Because can't nobody ask you for no more than that. I'm just saying. So that's a really bright spot for me. Another bright spot for me is that one of my friends, like all my friends are getting locks now. And that's a bright spot for me because my hair journey my hair journey, it has been so closely related to my personal journey, my spiritual journey, my emotional journey, and my own healing. Um, it just seems like the more my hair grew and grows, the more in tune with myself I become. Now, of course, I have been very intentional about building that connection, and it could just be a coincidence, you know what I'm saying? But I don't think so. Your hair, that's your hair is your strength, and that doesn't mean that you have to have a certain amount of length of hair. I'm not saying that at all. You can wear your hair however you want to wear your hair. For me, I don't think that the strength lies in the length of the hair so much as it is the comfortability with the hair. You get what I'm saying? It's the authenticity of the hair that makes the difference. And I think people I we like focus on the wrong things. I think it's about the connection, the authenticity of it. So whatever that looks like for you, the reality of your hair journey speaks a lot about the reality of your personal journey, your emotional journey. And so if your hair breaking off, girl, you might need to go in with that. That's probably indicative of internal emotional turmoil. So I had a client when I was in private practice. I had a client that I worked with, and I thought she was beautiful. I really did. I thought she was beautiful, but she did not think that she was. And she really, really struggled with just loving her appearance. And her hair was a huge, huge part of that. And we worked together for several months. And one of the goals that we set was for her to dye her hair, because to her, that was one thing that she always wanted to do, but she just never felt like she could. She just never felt like her family was going to think it was appropriate, or what the people on my job going to say, or what people going to think about me, and this, that, and the other. So she never really, but she always had an urge to do it. And so that was her homework, and it took her about 3 or 4 sessions to actually do it. It was her homework for 3 or 4 weeks. And every week that she didn't do it, we came back and we talked about why she didn't do it. What is holding you back from doing it? Because you've already stated very clearly that it's something you want to do. So why are you not doing it? And so it took us maybe about 3 or 4 weeks to work through that, and for her to get to a point where she was willing to give it a try. And I mean, she walked into my office like, when I tell you new money, new money. You couldn't tell her shit. Her whole demeanor changed. The way she carried herself was different, because for the first time in her life, she connected with the person that she saw in the mirror. That hair was authentic to her. Nah, it ain't nothing I would have never did to my head, because that just ain't authentic to me, you know? But for her, it was. And it was a beautiful moment of transformation. It really was. And then when people started seeing the way that she responded to it, they started responding differently. Oh my God, you look so happy. Girl, you glowing, girl. You look good. Yeah, because you are happy now. And so it's just all of that to say that we have to be able to live our authentic selves. And anyway, so my friends are all getting dreadlocks. You know, I be trying to get the people to lock their hair up. You know, I'm a huge fan of locks, especially for people who don't like to comb their hair. I actually enjoy combing my hair, but I love my hair. I love my locks. They are amazing. And I just think everybody should have that experience. I know it's not for everybody though. And one of my friends I was talking to this morning, her daughter, who I believe is 8 years old or something like that, and she just started some locks, and she loves her hair, like she loves her locks. And so every chance I get, I be talking to her, girl, how you like them locks, girl? How you liking them? You keeping them up? How you taking care of them? You know, and she likes them. She loves her hair. She loves her hair. And you know, just little things like that is so important, you know. And today she asked me, she said, do you have locks in your hair? I said, I sure do. And I did like that. I said, see, look at my locks. She said, it doesn't look like locks. I said, yeah, girl, they just longer than yours. But them is locks, girl. Them is locks. And she said, it looks like your hair is black and red. I said, yeah, girl, it's dark brown. It's dark brown at the top and then red at the bottom. I said, you like that? She said, yeah. I said, well, maybe when you get to be a little older, mommy might let you put a little dye in your hair, you know? And that was a bright spot for me, because just seeing on her face, like, I don't know, she's a beautiful, already a beautiful little girl. And you know, my friend, she always comb her child hair, you know. But just, I think I'm excited for her, to be going through her lock journey, and like really, as she's a very smart kid, and I feel like, this age group where she is right now developmentally, she's 8 years old, and this is a very critical time, in a little girl's life, in children's lives. But in a little girl's life, it's a very important time. This is really where your view of yourself begins to get cemented. The way you see yourself kind of begins around this age group. You start being a whole lot more aware, of the fact that other people are looking at you, you know? And that's a jarring experience. And some of us don't necessarily remember that experience because it was so long ago, you know, and we can kind of dismiss that, in our kids, like, oh, girl, you know, stop being a child, or that's stupid. Don't, you know, why you gotta, but that's their truth. That's where they are in life. And so, I'm excited for her to be kind of learning, how to live authentically from the beginning, because that is a skill that you can actually teach your children. um, like that's not necessarily just a personality thing. Like, part of it is personality, but part of it is also environment, like nurture. So you have to teach your children how to live authentically. You teach by example, but then you also teach by providing opportunities for lessons. And so, you know, that's a different topic for a different day. But that's a bright spot in my week. You know, what kind of bright spots y'all have? I see y'all coming up in here, but ain't nobody talking to me. Look like, I don't know why. But what kind of bright spots have y'all been having? Another bright spot is that one of the, goals that I had set for myself, a huge goal, I actually have, manifested that goal. And that manifestation of that goal has really opened the door for additional opportunities for me. And that's super exciting. So I don't know if you all follow me on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, You should be. Just saying. And hey, Jess, what's going on? Thank you, girl. I sure do appreciate it. I don't know if that's gonna work. Probably not. That's my Instagram. You should check it out. But you had youth service tonight? Oh, well, that's awesome. I'm glad it was great. Um, So I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram or not, but if you don't, then you really need to. I have partnered with Afros and Audio Podcasting Festival for podcasters, for Black podcasters. And we just secured a sponsorship with ACAST, which is a huge podcasting platform to provide some free of charge learning lessons and content and things like that for Black podcasters. It's called the Afros and Audio Virtual Podcast Kickback, create virtual creative podcast kickback. There we go. And I'm super duper excited about it. I had a heavy hand in helping to plan the entire event. I acted as a consultant on this particular partnership, I guess you call it, project. And it's the first time that I have participated in the planning and development. Well, it's not the first time, it's actually not, but it's the first time, like within my business structure that, I've participated in a putting something together of this size. And so I am extremely excited about that. I'm extremely excited about the direction that it's going to go in. It's going to be fucking amazing. Y'all need to make sure that you get your tickets at somebody type in for me afrosandaudio.com. Afrosandaudio.com. AFROSANDAUDIO.com to get your tickets. It's 100% free. And we need to make sure that we support. Thank you, Courtney. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Daniel. Hey, Ramona, Frederica, Courageous Stewart, Lori, Jess. Oh, I said, hey, Jess already. Well, thank you, Jess. Yes, we did a live stream on Thursday night, I believe it was, Wednesday or Thursday night, on the Afros and Audio Instagram page. Myself and Jerry Thompson the third, Jay the third, as he calls him, Jerry the third, as he calls himself. And it was freaking amazing. It was very, very awesome. It was extra awesome because that was for me, it was a big moment because I I really want to do more of that. I enjoy hosting and things like that. I enjoy talking to people to pull out the knowledge and the information that they have, specifically when that knowledge is in support of Black creatives and Black people in general. And I really thoroughly enjoyed that, so I'm very excited to be participating in this and working with Afros and Audio. Shout out to Talib. Talib has absolutely put his trust in me in so many ways. And it's a blessing. It really is. It's a blessing to be in a position to be able to just put my creativity on display and have people who look like me, to say, you know what, you are as good as you think you are. Cause I think I'm pretty fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I got some shit I could be fixing. You know, I mean, I know I ain't perfect. I get that. But I do think that I'm pretty high up there, you know, on the grand scheme. I'm saying like on the pendulum of like real cool shit, you know, I'm like up on the top end, you know. And so sometimes it's nice to know that the people you are aiming to support and the people that you are aiming to be of service to actually see you as such, you know what I'm saying? And so like that it's a reciprocal love. That's really what it is. It's nice to know that the feeling is mutual. And so because it is. Well, thank you, Cole. Thank you, Jessica. Y'all, listen, y'all so sweet. Well, oh, thanks, Jess. You add value to my life too. But that's the thing, like, I, you know, girl, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not going to cry tonight. But it's a, it's a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to do the things that you love doing and to like really, you know, like use your art to create things to help people who matter to you. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to be like really intentional about um, using my gifts and talents and like to have the level of clarity that I have around what my purpose is in this life, and to actually now have worked extremely hard on a personal level, on an internal level, to get myself to a place where I can actually fulfill that purpose, and to execute it at a very high level, and for my people that I'm working so hard for to be on the other side saying, well, thank you, girl. We was waiting on your ass to figure it out. You know, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a blessing. It's a beautiful feeling. It really is. So I'm super excited about the direction that everything is going in. I have so much new content and things that are coming y'all's way. New opportunities for you all to be able to support me, new opportunities for you to be able to support yourself and to really invest in your own healing, and making sure that you are equipped with the skills and the knowledge that you need in order to really get to your best version of who you are by healing all of those things and pieces and parts that need to be healed, and then being intentional about your manifestation. And so being able to participate in that is a beautiful thing. And so, yeah, I'm excited about that. That is a bright spot for me, because I've had, you know, over the last 2 weeks in particular, just back to back to back to back to back to back wins. And that's a beautiful thing because I worked hard for those wins. I am not surprised by those wins, because those wins are by design, um, divine and tactical. So I'm excited. You know, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. And I'm looking forward to the direction that life is going in, you know? Life is good. Life ain't easy. It ain't easy by a long shot. But for me, where I am right now, life is good. And when it's as dark as it is in the world, and there's so much to be wary about, sometimes you have to pause and be intentional about identifying the bright spots in your world. And sometimes it feels really weird. And sometimes it is really weird. And most times it's fucked up. But, you know, this is what it is. And you, even when it doesn't feel like it sometimes, you do have control. All right. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, let's see. Aw. Well, I love you too, Cole. You know how I feel about you, girl. It's my bitch. I love my bitch. So yes, so y'all head on over to afrosandaudio.com and get your ticket. This is for podcasters, from aspiring podcasters all the way to veteran podcasters. There's always something that you could learn. We have a 4-part series. I will be the back end moderator for 3 of those 4 parts, and then I'm going to be the speaker for the 4th part. And so, you know, it's going down. So y'all get your free ass ticket to the podcasting conference so that we can let ACAST know that the Black podcasting market is a viable market, and that this, even though this is the first time that they have intentionally supported and sponsored and contributed to the Black podcasting market, that it need not be the last time. So register for the event and then show up for the event. If you thinking about starting a podcast, the first one is Podcasting 101. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, if you think you might wanna, if you got a real nice voice and people always tell you that you should, you know, like this is like intro to podcasting. Okay. That's what this one is. It's on Wednesday, June 10th, and it's going to be via Zoom. It's 100% free. We don't want got this money from these people so that we can provide 100% free event. Okay, sign up, get your tickets. They are free. Join the event. Show up for the event. Okay. Because we got this money, we were able to pay the Black creatives that are helping us to put this on. And that's another like huge thing, because so often Black creatives, we just create for the love of creating. But specifically in the podcasting world, Black creatives do not have, Black podcasters do not have the same level of access to sponsorships and funding as non-Black podcasters. And so for us as a Black podcasting network, or Black podcasting, network of people, as Afros and Audio, to be able to set that precedence and say, no, you deserve to be paid for your art, and we're going to make sure that we can pay you for your art. That's huge. That's huge. We cannot keep waiting for everybody else to tell us that we are valuable. We have to be able to start telling that to ourselves. And this partnership with ACAST is the first step in that. Afros and Audios is an amazing organization. I knew from the first time that I saw Afros or ever heard of Afros and Audio, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to work with them. I knew it. I knew it. I didn't know how, but I knew I was going to get on that team. I knew I was going to be a part of that, because I just had a feeling that I knew they were going to be doing big things, and that they were serious, and that they had everything that they needed to make it happen. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be a part of that team. I'm excited to be presenting you all with some amazing Black creatives. And I'm excited just to be in this phase, in this chapter of my life. I know that times are hard. I know that times are dark. I know that there's a lot of weight to bear on right now and for the foreseeable future. But I also know that it is vitally important for you to be intentional about your healing, and that you do not have a choice but to confront the reality of the thing, while also giving yourself the space and the necessary time that you need in order to heal from those things, and to see those bright spots, you know. So again, your homework is to sit down with yourself while nobody watching. Facebook not on, Instagram not on, you in your room, or you maybe the only place you could go is sit on the toilet, girl. Go sit on the toilet for a few minutes in complete silence, or as close to complete silence as you can get, and really just be intentional. Get you a pen and a paper, or get you a notebook and a pen, or whatever it is, girl, a crayon if that's all you got, a marker, whatever, what you call, hey Tiff, what you call them, oh Lord, what you call them, black markers. Get you a highlighter, get you a Sharpie, that's what I was trying to say. Get you a Sharpie, whatever it is that you need to get to write down, and spend about 10 or 15 minutes just intentionally seeking out the bright spots in your week, the bright spots in your day, the bright spots in your month, the bright spots in your year. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. It could be that fire ass peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you had the other day, because girl, that sandwich was fire. I'm just saying that sandwich was fire, right? Or it could be your children in their bedrooms sleeping peacefully with belly full, not a care in the world, because you work hard to provide that life for them. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. Okay? But be intentional about identifying what those bright spots are. You cannot allow the darkness to overtake you, because it can happen very quickly. All right? And I had a little quote that I wanted to end on today. It's actually the quote that is listed in the description of this live stream, and I just wanted to go over it. I just watched a little while ago a movie called "I Am Not Your Negro." And this movie is available for free on Amazon Prime Video, 100% free on Amazon Prime Video. And it is the final work of James Baldwin. Um, and so I had been wanting to watch it, and I just never really got a chance to watch it. So I finally did. I absolutely recommend it. Make sure that you actually take time to watch it, where you can actually pay attention to what is being said. They are using James Baldwin's like his words, his actual words, and Samuel L. Jackson is narrating it, but in a really, it's like smooth, cool Sam. It's not like loud and ignorant Sam this time. You know what I'm saying? So it almost don't even sound like Sam, if we're gonna be 100% honest. But it's a beautiful piece of art, and I highly recommend you all to check it out. There were a lot of quotes, and I'm definitely going to watch this movie again. But one of the quotes that really stood out to me from a therapeutic perspective is a quote that says, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed unless it is faced." And so I just wanted to leave y'all with that tonight, because the reality of the times is that we are facing a lot of hills and hurdles and boogeymen, and all of the darkness and all of that stuff. Like, we are faced with a lot of ugliness and evil in this world right now. And we know we're not going to be able to change all of it. I don't think that that is a realistic goal. We are not going to be able to change it all, but we can't change none of it until we are willing to acknowledge that it exists. And that's as a country, that's as a whole people. That's not just racism, but the effects of racism, the generational effects of racism, the emotional effects of racism, and year after year, century after century, generation after generation of emotional trauma, and the reality of what that has done to our lives as individuals. Those generational curses we talk about and things like that, that shit started somewhere, sis. It all started somewhere. And so until we are ready to really confront and acknowledge the reality of that, then, no change is going to be made. And so, that means that the people are in control. Your decision to confront the reality of who you are and where you are is literally the first step. So that's all I got for y'all tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. As it thunders outside, it is storming. It's a nice sleep weather kind of night. Again, please make sure that you hit like and share. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe and that little bell on the side, because that will let you know every time I go live, so that you can not miss out on any lives. I'm just saying. Share me with your people. Let them know that you enjoyed this, and that you think that they could benefit from listening to it. And then head on over to my website, latricesampsonrichards.com, and just see what I got over there, figure some things out. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.